In order, stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Um, minutes. I didn't talk. I'll make a motion. Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Reports.
There was a few things, which I haven't got an update from him yet. I spoke with Jordan the other day. His new car had which I think is gonna be a recall issue for software. It had some Silver 3 misfire code entry or something. He said it was driving okay, just, everything that you've read on it. Said obviously don't drive for extended period of time, but I think he was taking it to the Ford dealership in Salem. That's what he called me about the warranty on it, all that. And I said, well, it shouldn't matter what dealership you take it to, as long as the Ford dealership, we should honor that. So, more to come on that. I haven't heard back.
Rachel's.
So,
Motion to pass the reconciliation report. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Anything else, Jack?
no. Oh, you want to get into that later, the federal thing?
Yeah, we're gonna roll right into the committee report. So the SLFRF report. Give us a update on that.
They accepted it to begin with, and then about a week ago, they sent me back a thing saying, nope, it's not right. So I'm waiting on technical support. Called them today, and they're like, we can't guarantee you when, but you're on the list, you will be contacted. It's not accepting a upload file for this latest spending was over $50,000. So the stuff we did before this is all accepted. It's anything over 50,000, you have to do extra steps. So I'm in the midst of it.
I'm assuming that since we're having technical issues, we've got the ticket in, the support ticket, we should be covered then.
We shouldn't be.
Make sure you're creating paper.
Good idea.
Yeah, because.
Every time I call them, I need to list it on the list that I call them and talk to.
Yeah.
Who I talk to, but
Keep like a communication, so copies of the emails.
Because I called them because I was getting the same things you. I ended up calling them and asking them why I was getting them, and I think they had you listed too on there, and but they didn't have any phone number or email or anything. So I told them to remove me from it because they had me listed as the person that's to one of them to be submitting. And when I was talking to them, they're like, but that needs to be your clerk treasurer doing that. And said, yes, that's correct. So they removed me from it, and I haven't gotten any emails for a little while other than the one that I
all
forwarded.
them emails you were getting were just telling about a training course. I've already taken the training course. They're not very user friendly,
Right.
period.
But yeah, they'd like others say that
Paper trail.
paper trail, and if there's anything we can do to help, you know,
You're dealing with federal government, and now it's a cut down federal government, so there's not as many people out there to contact
Yeah.
creating issues.
emergency services.
I don't have anything further to add. I guess last month we did talk about the lights. The car was still having an issue with the lights, correct? That did get resolved. It was a software thing. They reloaded the program. And that was good. Currently he is driving, I think, right now, until he gets that other misfire issue fixed. He's driving the slip top that he picked up.
I saw him driving it a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Great. Streets and roads.
All right. Let's see, so, CCMG update, we have all paperwork filed and money should be coming, Jack. I don't know, probably receive it, I doubt it, but they said they would be releasing the funds to us. We have a few decisions to make here. One of them is HMD and what their involvement will be moving forward and during this process. There are a couple options. Do you want me to run through the options? You want me to? You came all the way out here. I mean, that was still on thunder, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, from one city to another. So there's basically two options with regards to what we typically call construction inspection. There's periodic construction observation. That would be about $6,000 in cost. Would basically ensure 2 visits during the course of the construction for general observation reporting and address any issues during that period. Address contractor questions and concerns, review pay apps, and then anticipate punch list walkthroughs in coordination with MAC for completion of punch list items, as well as closeout in coordination with NDOT for that closeout. Option 2 is your slightly less cheaper option. It basically is just looking at punch list and closeout only. This is at the similar level to I think what we've done in some other cycles, but basically it addresses the contractor questions or concerns, reviews pay apps, does a punch list walkthrough in coordination with MAC, and closeout document coordination with NDOT, and CCMG. So basically, we wanted to customize this for your preference. Obviously with some of the work, you can make a case that a little bit more, supervision may be beneficial. You've also got a new contractor. I think MAC has at the same time a pretty established record in the region. It's just a preference of which one you wish to go and I guess, that difference.
I would prefer the higher tier one. This, we've got a new contractor.
Don't take the risk.
Yeah, and we don't have time. We can't babysit it.
Exactly. Yeah, that, the size of the project, the type of the project, I mean, I know 1-inch mill and overlay, we've never even done that before. That'll be new to us. And then, we've never dug up anything in Barton Heights,
Right.
probably since the 60s. So not real sure what we're gonna uncover there. It's probably good to do option 1. So I'll go ahead and make a motion for option 1 on this.
A second. Favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
I'll follow up with an email.
We want to
And then-
pay for it out
Let
of.
me talk about culverts.
I was gonna roll right into culverts. The next thing we need to discuss is culverts. There's one that's going to be definitely impacted by the project. And there are multiple other culverts that we could potentially address, and I'm sure.
So if you remember, when we started moving toward a CCMG application, one of the things we were concerned about is several of the culverts out there have obviously been there since the 60s, and what the little maintenance has happened. We thought it was a good time to review. At that point, it was Vinay and myself who went out there, did kind of an asset inventory, inspected those culverts, looked the things over. For the section that we are paving, I believe there's only one with some minor issues, so we didn't really focus too heavily on it. But in the course of the conversation with having Mac out there, the thought was, could we go ahead and since the bids came in lower than expected, could we go ahead and do an additional work item that would be separate from CCMG and go ahead and address all of those, or at least just address the one that we know is going to be, a minor issue and impacted there. Get that taken care of as part of this process with one mobilization. And then if we do all of them, be in a position where when we come back for a second round of CCMG, presumably maybe as soon as next year, that we would look at then covering and getting that section of pavement done and having those culverts already taken care of before we do the work.
Do you know that items that they were looking to pass in regards to the CCMP grants, like wheel tax?
The wheel tax, that did not pass. That did not pass. So there are, I can speak a little bit to that because I sat through a legislative briefing for 2 hours. Yeah, let me tell you. There is some road funding legislation that will affect CCMG. They did not pass some of the more onerous, at least from a local standpoint, items such as you have to have a wheel tax in place or you have to do other sorts of funding mechanisms. However, they did make some changes. Generally, I think most of the locals are looking favorably at these, but because of that, there will be a delay in the July letting. Now, we've already got our project going. I don't think we were intending on trying to push this out and then make another application in July. We would probably,
We can't.
yeah, we can. So based on our schedule, we wouldn't really be looking to do another round until probably the beginning of next year at the earliest. But there could be some minor things that when we get to that point, we have to tweak or whatever. But as far as the big things, to your point, Heather, no, that was not.
Thank you.
Do we know how much an estimate of for those,
We are getting the quotes pulled together with Mac to give an idea of what that would look like. And then we would propose that we bring those back. Typically what we've done in the past on these is we would send them to Andy and you as the lead to town council agents, and then get a sense for what the full council wants to do probably, within the next 30 days or so.
So that must be a work order change, it would be a rebid.
Yeah, we'd have to do it separate because it can't be a pay app associated with the grant, but the idea would be that we could do essentially a work order change to them for an additional item covered solely by the town.
kind of like what we did when we paved out here? So, yeah.
So I guess we'll just we'll look at the bid on the one culvert.
Yeah.
And then just do it by email. I don't really anticipate that's gonna be expensive.
No, we definitely
Cleaning
need to do the one culvert.
Yeah, cleaning out, shoring up, and then rejoining the ends, I believe. The other ones,
I would rather do those.
all of them, just do them
Yeah.
now, and then come in later with more pay.
Yeah.
You have $43,000 in edict fund that you could probably use for construction of concrete permanent stuff. So,
And I'll say this, Rachel and I were talking about it because obviously Rachel took Renee's asset report. And they talked about it when she came back on board with us. And basically, we don't think there's anything super heavy there in terms of, we're not talking about, hey, we gotta yank out a huge section of pipe or anything like that. It's more, to your point, clean out, maybe some restoration where an end has been bent up or something like that, adding some riprap to stabilize where it washes out. It's not anything that, you look at, you're like, man, this road's gonna collapse. We're gonna be into thousands of dollars here to get this right.
Yeah. That makes sense. I just like, make sure we do it right. It's sort of tearing up the roads now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, good.
He had like a devious.
I know, right?
And then he like, thank you.
Say
No,
the sorry laugh. It's like, oh gosh,
Sorry.
I was gonna say next.
Moving on to the next thing.
That's fine.
Dave said 30 minutes, gavel gavel, so
I'm
you got
wrapping it up,
15.
Dave. I'm wrapping it up. We have some potholes. I got Jordan doing that was hopeful he could get to it today. It's maybe tomorrow. Doesn't seem to be as extensive as in prior years. These are gigantic potholes, but it's simply Georgetown, Greenville, Harrison Street, and then I asked him to look at Clark Street again. I don't know what we can do to Clark Street other than our next round of funding.
Yeah, potholes, I mean, I know this isn't our potholes to fix, but on 150 there going out of town. I know.
Yeah.
We just had to call.
Does anybody know, or have you heard anything from the state on potential repairs for that?
No, I haven't.
It's on the 30-year plan, Dave.
That's good.
But it's do a historic preservation review and then an environmental review, follow that up with funding. No, I haven't. Usually they come around once a year and fill in the potholes and fill in the edge of the road. But they haven't done that yet. That section between the new construction and basically the entryway to Galena, that's just really rough, man. Because the two bridge projects and then our project, they never repaved all that stuff in the middle. It's just, yeah, it's deteriorated.
Just drive in the middle.
On the yellow line.
It's having a real winter in there too.
Right, yeah, a real winner. That did not.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, that's it. For potholes, we want to go ahead and do 2,500 like we normally do. I don't know. Could go higher. I doubt it. It could go less. It should
Right,
probably.
just say 2,500, and so, make a motion to approve $2,500 for pothole blitz. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
That's all I have for streets and roads. We also have snow removal on here.
Yeah, so we did not, so we did not publish anything for snow removal. And I think the reason that we didn't is because we didn't really come up with a strategy per se for people to bid it out. And so,
What's the service? I don't. I mean, you can
Well, and
get
that's-
it in from last year.
yeah, and so that's poses a whole nother question. I know initially it's like, well, yeah, let's go ahead and let's get it all bidded out.
I
But-
think you wanted to see if it was out there and who was interested. I don't know if it was necessary to bid it out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that it's gonna be, this is just my opinion, is, if Jordan is interested, I know he's talked to you and I talked to him as well. And he's kind of like, hey, I'm better set up now, but I just don't know if I wanna do it, you know? He wanted to talk to Skip about just expectations and stuff, because he talked about how well you two work together. And so I did message Skip and said, hey, can you give Jordan a call so you all can have a conversation about what the expectations are of snow removal and so on and so forth. So I don't know. It sounds like that happened. So and I think that, I think George's probably just gonna charge us an hourly rate. When I talked to him, I mean, the biggest issue was just, salt, having the right salt and everything, and there's just somewhat with climate. So,
Had a lot more to say, but this year was like a historical year. I mean, we got.
Tornado winter.
so,
It
so
was the frozen tundra.
I guess it's, it sounds like he's interested. I mean, I tell you, I'm leaning towards us not bidding it out. And we, try to have him come up and say, hey, yeah, I'll do it. Here's your price, whatever that rate is. We approve it. And then if we don't approve or if he doesn't come up, then that's when we say, okay, we're gonna post 30 days and I mean, it's gonna be relatively simple as to remove snow from the town itself.
Yeah, and look, so, he offers an hourly rate. It's obviously very competitive. We saw that last year during the bid process. He has 2 trucks. We had one that was down this year, but he'll have them both up next year. And then the event of an emergency, he can scrounge together those mini backhoes. Came out and cleared the roadways in a pinch. He also has the contacts with the big salt trucks.
Yep.
So if we need some real blue type ice that is gonna cut through some hard stuff, we can get that in a very short order. I think that's the way to go. And we were we were short on, pallets of salt there for a little bit. And he was able to acquire it, you know, which is one of the more difficult things to do, especially during an event like we had.
Yeah.
We were like sourcing it off of trains from Chicago. I mean, it was some wild stuff. So I like him. I think he's great. And I don't think we're gonna get anything better, especially at this competitive rate. We'll pay way more to get an equivalent service.
And I would try to keep it local too. He's a local
Yeah,
company and guy, and I'd just rather keep it local if we can too.
yeah. And so the one thing that I would like to do is come up with, a way to store and like stockpile salt. Now is like the time to buy it, and we get super cheap, like half price, and we could stockpile it, keep it dry, keep it temperate, whatever.
Yeah.
And then use it whenever we need it next year. We don't have to go scrambling. 27 inches.
I think that's the problem is we don't really have any place to keep.
Exactly.
So,
Which is kind of, you know, the transition for what we're doing with this.
yeah, it'd be perfect.
That would be perfect. Anyway, it's a concept, and if we're going to use Jordan, I had talked to him this winter that like, you know, there's a difference between loose salt, packaged salt, what he can do, the equipment, what he would be willing, like, he wanted to do loose salt, be easier to acquire during the winter, but at the same time, he got more equipment. So he was willing to come here and explain all that. There's a very scientific approach to doing all that, the chemicals that go in different types of salt. So, whatever, I mean, I'm happy to talk to him.
Yeah.
About coming to the next meeting.
I say talk to him. He and or his dad are probably gonna do some work at my house, like, so if they come over beforehand, I'll talk to them too, so.
Yeah.
they Both approaches.
I mean, ideally, if we can even start purchasing by like September, just to get a head start on it. then-
And the good thing, I mean, it's not gonna go bad, so.
Even if I throw it out there, you know, Billy Joe's might store for us, which is a lot of. I'm not sure. He bought a lot last time and held it forever, and that's where we were going for a long time.
Did we get rid of the storage place?
Oh, you see,
Yes, I believe so. That was
Danny's farm.
Dan's farm.
We can still have a storage unit there,
Is there still a lot of stuff in it?
keep our pipe and, material that we can't store here.
Clean it out.
How much is that a month?
I think it's annual, it's one time payment, isn't it? Yeah. It's once a year.
Yes.
Well, she said quarterly, so that would be quarterly.
Roughly like 120, 25,000.
25, I think his rate's $25. 125 every, well, every month is 100.
You're paying $375.
I see that in front of the pain. Bit bigger.
Yeah.
A lot of items, thanks.
Well, so I think we hold off on, you know, having anybody bid. I mean, very good thing going with Jordan, and he's willing to do it.
And I'll call him and let him know, you know, assuming he wants it.
Yeah.
I think we agree that's.
Okay. All right, property cleanup, so just, I didn't hear anything but good things about it. So,
I think I looked for the dumpsters. So.
The dumpster was full.
Todd said you were putting a smoker in there.
I didn't put it in there, so those people come by and pick those things up, with the grill too. Yeah, there's a lot of metal, so, but, Bob was smashing it down with his backhoe. He's making it a tight little box of trash, so we got our money, that's for sure. And that was before noon. He'd already smashed it down twice.
So it's not that I text you guys and be like, what time is the dumpster supposed
I
to
know
be?
Sunday, 6 a.m.
Well, we were remodeling the bathroom and I was trying to get the girls, well, no, I did one of those big dumpster bags and had Waste Management come pick it up for the remodel stuff, but the girls were moving home. I got rid of a bunch of their furniture and all kinds of crap, just cleaned out their rooms.
Special projects?
Well, back to property cleanup.
Okay.
So when NDOT was out here, there were bushes on Third Street West, I believe. It's 9665 Highway 150. I said, hey, can we clean those bushes up? Can we take care of it? Problem is when you're coming out right in front of the liquor store, there's a set of trees that have growth on them and it's sticking out to the highway. So you can't see, especially the way the road's designed, which down here, the highway's up here, you gotta go up like that. You can't edge out or anything. Anyway, NDOT gave me a verbal approval to clean those trees. I just need to send Jordan up there to do it. That's gonna cost. So I don't know how
Yeah.
much.
I think it's just kind of how much it is. I mean. Dude. No, I don't. I mean, we could give, but if we need to do it quickly, we could do a. Majority approval and we just let Jack know, okay, we're do whatever. So,
Okay. So I'll just get the price and.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's it for probably.
special projects.
Yes, Greenville Community Yard Sale. We are going to run an ad in the News and Tribune starting Tuesday, run it all the way through June 7th, which is our yard sale. And total publication cost for that, $130. Like, take that out of,
Town promotion.
Yeah.
promotion.
A second. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's running up to June 7th.
Yes. Weekend publication.
It's awesome. Anything else? Heather?
I'm trying to be brief because I don't know a whole lot. So Senate Bill 1 passed, which the governor signed. It's going to have an impact on how much we're going to get in property taxes. It's going to have an impact on what local income taxes we can and can't do. It's going to start fiscal year 2026. I think I sent you from LSA what they expect the impact to be, which was anywhere from 2590 in fiscal year 26 to 3000. And sitting in meetings in Baker Tilly for several other clients, they can't do a model. They can't even forecast for my other clients. They don't think the LSA information is correct. So it could be a lot more that we're losing. It could be a lot less. There's just no way to know right now. I haven't dug in. It's a very extensive bill. It goes across many different areas. Basically what it's going to do is do a real estate property tax cut to all the owners and shift more things in local governments to local income taxes. So you'll pay less in your property tax, but you're probably going to pay double in your local income taxes. AIM is having a training in late June to go, and they usually go over all the legislative. I imagine SB1 is going to be a big one. So I will know more. I'd like to get Adam Stone on board with it. So, he's our fiscal advisor. We're probably, from what I understand very limitedly is that all the income taxes that everybody has now is going to go away and you're going to have to reinstitute. And since we can't do local income taxes here, some municipalities are going to be able to do that now where they haven't before. So we just need to know what our options are and get that passed because they're all going to have to be passed to 25 to implement 26 when this cut starts. So I'll have some more information and, pass it on as I get it. Also a reminder, I will not be at June's meeting. If you want me to attend via Zoom, I certainly can, but otherwise I will be on the beach. Once a year vacation.
We talked about possibility of a House bill about limiting the franchise.
I have not heard anything else about that, but there was one that was proposed about limiting what the franchise fee would be as far as what you see on your bill. Basically trying to save consumers money by limiting that fee to consumers, but it also could have.
So,
Is it on our bill?
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that's gonna have an impact or not.
So
I need to check and see if it even,
yeah, just, that may not be the next year, following year, but that could be a pretty big impact on our budget, not just ours, it's
think about
wide all over
the school system, they're gonna take probably the biggest hits because they get the great majority of real estate property taxes go to the school system. think they're scheduled to lose 2.5 million in year one of the new cap.
It's big. It was a big.
Yeah.
A smaller percentage than us and yeah, that's a pretty big.
Yes,
Significant
significant
impact.
for all of units of government, but it's gonna give them the right to do, I think, local income tax themselves. So I'll find out more about it. I'm gonna dig into it and go to this seminar on it. I don't think anybody's really got their arms around it yet, because it's gonna have such a far-reaching impact, and it's going to obviously save people statewide, like the statewide politicians are thumping their checks, we save everybody property taxes, but it starts screwing the localities, because now you're gonna have to increase the implement new taxes to make up for the difference, because $300 per family doesn't seem that significant, but when you know, have a 2,000 household, 1,000 household even.
Yeah.
Making a significant.
For sure.
I will also not be here in June.
Okay.
Just an update on that. And Heather, Crystal had received an email today. I forwarded it to you really late. It's about DOJ ADA mandate. And it's regarding ADA accessibility for documents online. Okay. I was unable to really find any guidance to that email, like an actual legislation, so.
Are we sure it's a legitimate email?
Yeah, it's talking about if you scan a PDF document, which most municipalities do, like sign witnesses. That's
OCR.
exactly. And they had a free program that you could run on some of these files, but I think a lot of the stuff that we have is probably gonna be exempt, like ordinances, we keep those online for archiving purposes. Our ordinances are actually maintained electronically through American Legislative Legal Service. So anyway, we just need help understanding.
Okay, I'll put that on the list.
They said like the date was 2026, so we have some.
That's gonna be interesting. And to understand what it covers, you know, is that all of our agendas or, I mean,
Our agendas seem good. The people that reviewed it, which was municipal impact, did not list agendas as being one of the items. Shocking, because I have every agenda from 1978, 77 maybe on.
right, it's right.
They were doing it great back in the 70s.
We're just ahead of the technology. All right,
Also, I have one more thing to add. I'm gonna check in with Adam about the CCD, because I know he was gonna do what maybe done. I just want to follow up with him on the DOJS and to make sure, since we've already published, got everything done that we're supposed to do on our end.
no business, new business, well, I guess this be considered a little bit, but, mainstream, they're not here. So I had well, they sent some emails out. I've received a phone call from them, basically wanting to know, I know that they contacted Heather, wanting to know why we weren't approving them, what the problem was, and I think they even threatened or told Heather that they were going to go, you know, down the legal road, if we wouldn't approve them. I talked to the guy, our regional person, and, you know, I told him that, you know, we had a host of problems with the last time. And I told him though, up to this point, they have not provided us anything official, no agreement. They have not requested to come to a meeting, nor have they came to a meeting to discuss anything with us. So there's nothing for us on the table to ever necessarily deny per se. And he went through and told me about, you know, the daylights that he had been prepped on, the daylights and where they would hit our utilities. And he said the problem there was that our locates were off by a considerable amount, so they shouldn't be held liable for a locate that was so far off, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's fine. I said, but that's not what I'm talking about. I said, I'm talking about over on Boywood Road, where one of your all's trucks came through and crushed the side of our new road in. We had people there with pictures, with proof, and then you all denied it for well over a year. We ended up having to file, you know, a lawsuit against you all, and it ended up costing you all like $20,000 more because the prices of everything went up. I said, it is absolutely ridiculous And so he had not heard anything about that. Then he turned back pedaling and said,
Well, we still let them, in the, operate in the right of ways, but as far as our streets, we need to have an agreement on what their responsibility is, because they've not been good, people to work with.
and that's what I told him. I said, he said, so if I'm hearing you correctly, we can take the original agreement, we can look at it, maybe add something to it, or send it to you all for review. You all can redline it and send it back. I said, absolutely. We have not had anything new come across our desks to review. So he's supposed to be working on that. I'm kind of shocked that we haven't received anything from him yet.
They went ahead and went to work, because they worked in my yard 2 days ago and did clear all the way down here
On the street or just in the right of way?
in the right of way.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's fine, we can't stop them in the right of way.
As long as they're not daylighting in the road.
Yeah.
They start daylighting in the road.
But our locate should be on, we've got a whole mapping system.
Yeah.
So I don't take it.
And on that side of the road,
We had a
everything
mapping
was on this
system when they
side.
did the first locates. So I don't know what he's talking about. I don't remember having any issues with locates or them destroying more roadways.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a couple that were off, but I mean, for the most part, them not coming back and doing because they were supposed to, the daylights, they would fill them and I think come back a certain period of time after that. And it was ridiculous. So, so that's an update there. And so,
Quick question, Sandy,
Yeah.
if they provide us a work plan, like
Yeah.
design plans,
we did that last time, I think.
yeah, send it to you guys and have you take a look at them. I'm really concerned about the daylight. The holes that they're trying to cut are like in new paved road places. Like at least put it somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, not on our fresh asphalt.
Well, it sounds like they're trying to do it in the right of way.
Yeah, it did my yard.
I mean, why would you need to locate on the road though? I mean, why couldn't you just work in the right of way? I don't
Because
understand.
you need to get a depth on, visual on the water main. Yeah. That would be the only reason why they would daylight.
Well, a depth visual I get, but you could give them a depth of what it's supposed to be, right?
Depths on water mains.
You just have locates.
I can estimate from a valve box and roughly add 6 to 8 inches, and they can figure out a rough depth. They can do that without daylighting.
What they do,
The other day somewhere.
what they do with Palmyra, they hit a main and shut.
We don't even have an agreement with them. They've never sent an agreement. I'm like, why are they even digging?
So, are they,
I don't think we have an agreement with them.
Did they fix it?
Haven't said anything to me about it. I
Another
told you that doesn't work the way other towns work. I've not heard anything about a water main hit by Main Street.
Another thing that you guys could consider that some cities and towns have done is put in standards with regards to the state of the infrastructure. So, for example, I know I have to pull it from Mickey, but we've got this in New Albany where if we repave a street and they come in and they then want to cut up the street for some related utility work, there's a minimum threshold of repaired replacement so that you can't get away with just patching the little corner. Now you've got at least that whole
Ours
section.
says has to be to our satisfaction. The
Yeah.
repair has to be to our satisfaction.
Oh, well, then that's, yeah.
I made it very broad in that they weren't gonna get away with just doing just the minimum.
Yeah, but I think that was to, like, hey, we can review, like, if we're not happy, we'd ask you to redo it, but they're just patching the little hole. Like he's saying, if it's a new road, they gotta mill it back and then come in and redo the whole thing.
Did you find those standards?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I can.
Is it-
talk to Mickey.
Is it a New Albany ordinance?
I don't remember if it's an ordinance or if it's just if it's a Board of Works policy, because Board of Works obviously plays a pretty heavy role in the city.
Well, we are.
I know. You are the whole package.
But yeah, I could probably.
Whatever board you need, we are here.
Give me what it is. I mean,
Don't give anybody any ideas.
Yeah. Alright, so Floyd County On-Site Wastewater District, so. You wanna explain it? I went through reading it.
well, I have the statute, but it's been a few days since I read it. It's been since the end of April. It's been 2 or 3 weeks now.
So basically, we got a notice, from Floyd County to create the onsite wastewater district. I mean, I'm still pretty fuzzy on what it is. It sounds like it's to allow discharge of
Yeah.
wastewater. And because the state decided to change something, then we have to, which basically invalidates almost
But
what's
actually,
already.
we have to pass it, that's also. So the commissioners are doing this MPEDS district, to allow, my understanding is if your septic tank fails, this is one way you can go about not having to put in a whole new sewer, a whole new septic tank. I asked specifically, well, this doesn't really overcome our statute that if we put in sewer, they have to opt out. No, doesn't do that. The criteria though is the way Rick explained it to me, and again, I haven't delved deep, I've looked at the statute a few weeks ago, but the way Rick explained it to me is that the compliance with that is gonna be so hard that people can't maintain what this is for so long. The commissioners are gonna implement it, and that's their right to do it, but the way I read the statute is each municipality had to also pass an ordinance allowing it. Now, when I spoke to Rick, he said there's only maybe 3 people in the county that would really qualify for it anyway, so I'm not sure. I said, well, when I talked to you, I said, if you had questions, call Rick, maybe have Rick come to a meeting.
Yeah.
Because he's much more, I don't want to reinvent the wheel and get really into an ordinance that, or I mean, a law that, we can't prevent the commissioner from passing it, whether or not we can prevent them from implementing it in the town is different. That's what I want.
Yeah, I guess, and I sent him an email today about it, and he just said, well, let me know what your questions are, call me. And I guess I just need to call him, or unless you all have any.
Well, and
specific-
I'll look at the statute and see if I got the
and
minute
then
too.
see if he could come out to the next meeting, which I know you're not gonna be here, but I have it recorded now, so, you know. But I mean, I just wanna make sure that, we're not doing something that then later on is going to impede us from expanding the sewer.
Well, that was my very first question and my concern also, and my understanding is no. All this does is give someone a pathway. It doesn't remove them from that statute because with the way the sewer statute reads, the last time you had me look into it was we expand the sewer and they're within so many feet of the sewer, they have to connect unless they send us notice that they're opting out, they prove they have a working septic system, all these statutory requirements, and that's not gonna be superseded by this MPEDS district or whatever you call it. That's that was the very first thing I asked is, this isn't gonna impact this. He said, no, they're still, I think it's 500 feet or something from the sewer line, they have to connect.
I'll reach out.
And I'll pull the statute and do it then for you too, just like I will. The scan and PDF OCR.
Any other town business?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the repaving and Buckland Heights, got a time lag on that?
It was, yeah, they're gonna shoot for the beginning of June, so probably, the second.
Now that culvert that goes underneath drains down into the big ditch there.
So, Hansel Barkley is not on this round of paving. So it's
No,
gonna be,
it's not.
no, it's gonna be Maple, and it's gonna be Beechwood, and then all of Beechwood's feeder streets, so all of that.
Hansel Barkley was repaved and expanded 10 years ago. The other roads are still from the 60s. So
Okay.
we expanded Hansel Barkley twice the size.
Going into the curve, it's cracked.
I have to look at it. Last time I was there.
I mean,
Like,
where the water line goes under the road, it looks like at one time there had been a leak there and it drooped in there.
take a look at it. Not noticing anything.
Just throw a rock at the house, I'll come out and show you what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Or you could do a really unique thing, use the driveway. FedEx didn't seem to know what that is.
Well, anyway, yeah, we're exploring possibly doing more with Parkland Heights. We just want to get the roads that we pothole and like patch together year to year, Beechwood by far, and then Maple, we've done a lot of potholes there, so it's just, because that steepness, that grade, you get all that water, it just deteriorates the asphalt.
Gravity.
All right, anything else for town business? All right, I make a motion to close town business. Second. All in favor, Sarah? Aye. Anybody opposed? Business is open.
Leaks and investments. Well, the agenda said I had a lot more than I do. I think it was last month's agenda of mine, so I don't have that much for water. Sewer has probably the most tonight. The last month, we've just been moving forward with getting the process started with the eye hydrants that come out and they measured the hydrants, making sure that they're getting the right parts for them. And that's X amount of weeks out, so they're basically ordered now, and we're just about to wait for them to come in. Other than that, we've been working on fix some leaks. We're working on active leaks that we know of this week. We've had some issues getting O'Mara out for some of these. They've been about 3 weeks out on fixing things unless it's just blown out of the ground. I think American Water has kept them more busy than they anticipated. So
Do we need to, I know we've, long time, several years, we've been strictly using O'Mara. Before that, we used Dan Christianity. Does it make sense to give Dan?
I can look into Christianity. The problem I have is every time you call them out, there's a mobilization fee, so there are a lot more. But at least that you do have somebody maybe a little quicker. How about their smaller company? He was used over on Arthur Kaufman to do boring for a customer, Newton Excavating. I think they're out of Palmyra, and they do main repairs, service line repairs, things that we might not be able to rent equipment for and do. So we might be able to somehow approve just a smaller contractor like that, and if we need them in like a pinch. So like I said, it's hard when you have certain leaks or customers' yards getting wet and saturated, and they want to know when the fix is, but you have your contractors 3 weeks out. Because you like to get leaks, I like to get them fixed quickly.
Well, I mean, and I don't know how you two feel, but I mean, I think that's an operational decision, and if you want to try and talk with Newton and start having that conversation, and start dispatching them out for some of the smaller stuff that you don't want to do the rental equipment on, I think that's fine. Without having to call us to get approval for it.
Okay, yeah, it'd be nice to have that kind of on the back, so.
Yeah.
Okay. And then other than that, the biggest thing the last, month, is IDEM was here, they liked everything and there were no deficiencies.
Good.
And, our water loss is down just a couple more percent, 20%, so it's coming down. It's a work in progress. Really, that's all I have on water.
So item was there for water as well, separate from the sewer.
Yep.
Have they done, I know we're not on sewer, but have they done a follow-up on our sewer?
I haven't heard anything back from them. And they were here, I think this last week for our sanitary survey. Everything was good for the water. But I think that's it. I mean, I'm down there at new business. I have that recommendation for Scott's lady. We can get into that for sewer. Okay. So sewer, I've been working with Ashbury. We've been draining and processing the side that hasn't been used. And now I've been working on getting basically inventory or materials here and ready to either implement, to move forward with getting the plant how it's was designed, and or replacing. So we're going to have a day to repair this airline. I got a picture here. It's like melted and burnt up. We're going to have to get some better material in there and replace that section on the main airline while everything's down.
and just get it repaired and hopefully not to worry about it again. So again, I've been working with Wallers, and we're supposed to get some materials on that to have on hand. And then TNT Technologies has expressed that they're willing to do, it would be just a day of labor, probably for each project. So repairing the line and then adding the material needed to the plant. That would just be like a day of labor to get that done, and they're interested in doing it for us. So we don't have to outsource, they're familiar with their plants. That was nice to have that conversation and know that we can get that taken care of through them. And other than that, we've had a couple meetings with Aeromod. Everything is in order as far as like our PLC is actually complete. They're waiting on us to get back with them into that in a minute about another control panel or cabinet for the variable drives. I don't know if I sent it out, but they have a pay request for us to pay for the PLC since it's done, and then we're going to store it with them. So get that approved, and that way we can.
Is there a storage option?
So yeah, everything is just on there. So what they're asking for is, I'm pretty sure that this. So it should break it down, but they're basically wanting us just to pay for the PLC.
So then we're just gonna pay part of it. Right, that's what they're asking?
Yeah, they're asking for like $90,000.
Something original. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just making sure. Good. We haven't seen it last meeting, so at least I wanted to bring it forward.
Yeah.
There are pictures of the actual PLC on there too.
Oh, sorry. I overreacted, guys.
Would you
That's
like
my
to see
bad.
it, Dave?
No one told me, sorry.
And you said there was another PLC on this.
So I did send out, the top items I have already ordered. These are the items that were needed to move us forward. This is just, operational cost, to get those parts and pieces. So this down here is what we'll be looking at. So you have like an aeration tank first stage. So this, and I haven't emailed that, but this is an option. We don't have to do it now. We can do it in the future, but this will allow us to, it's basically, it controls our airflow and it'll allow it to do more, less. It also helps replace some of the old airline material as well. It replaces about half of that airline material within this cost. Of course, it would have to be installed by a contractor. So this is just the cost. And then the main thing really is the cabinet. So we're doing this shed off to the side to put our electrical equipment in. And we have two options. We can either, take one of the variable drives in the cabinet and place it in the unit, in the storage unit, and get the blower set up. And we can keep one active in the current building, which it just adds a little more labor, or we can get a couple cabinets from Aeromod and set them in the storage, the shed, and put the new variable drives in them. So instead of having to take old off the wall and use old, and it may not fit exactly right with the new variable drives, these cabinets will be custom made to exactly fit those variable drives and electronic equipment instead of trying to use old cabinets, basically. It's costly, but again, you're having trying to do it right.
So it's gonna be in the shed.
So the shed would
No,
have.
I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The shed had everything. What's gonna be in the building? The
So you're
two
gonna
pumps?
have the 2 air compressors and then the 2 big blowers. What's gonna be in there.
Okay.
So if you walk in there, you're taking a lot of the stuff on the right-hand wall off and getting it out of there and putting it separate.
Store some salt in there.
It's like this.
Go for it.
No, I dropped it. And then just, like I said, the new cabinets would just make it easier on the install.
Is that the 22,000?
Yeah, to have it into the building. Like I said, if you have all those in there, you put those and all the other electrical components, you're basically building it in a way where you can just turn a key and everything runs.
I think we need to do that.
This is all gonna be in the shed.
Mhm.
This is the cost for that, or
Yeah.
this is the cost for the parts
This is the cost for basically the cabinets and, just to hook up those new, they're called VFDs, they're variable frequent drives, and they're what communicates with the plant, lets it know, you have airflow and lets it know how much airflow that you're supposed to get. Again, before we weren't gonna move this out into a separate area. Now that we're moving this out to a separate area, that's the question is, we can take the old cabinets and try to fit the new equipment in there, but then old with new doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't know if it's gonna fit, and they don't know if it's gonna fit either.
I think that it's better to do the cabinets, and so you can install everything. If I understand correctly, you get the new cabinets, get the whole new PLC, everything can be set up. And so you're gonna have a minimum amount of work to do your switch over versus having to pull the whole PLC off, do whatever surprises you have. Then put your new PLC, your everything in.
I was gonna save you a couple of days worth of downtime or labor.
I'm more concerned about the downtime.
One, if the fitment isn't right, anyways, if you deal with cabinets, you're gonna be going the other route anyway.
Yeah,
Right,
and then you're having to be down.
got that labor and you're down, so.
Right, so what would that call, 22,000?
2,210.
Make a motion to approve $22,210 for the new cabinets for the sewer PLC.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
That's it. And, Andy with TNT and I have been working on the final pricing. Hopefully I'll have that next meeting to bring with what his labor cost is gonna be. We had a rough estimate, but that was back in December. So hopefully we get that by next month and can look forward to approving that and maybe get a date pinned down.
That's what I was gonna ask, is do we have anything remotely close to the date?
No, I think Airmont has done great on getting all this built, and getting it ready. Andy has been doing good to clear his schedule, but he does a lot of emergency calls for other plants and other places, and that's kind of got him behind. So I'm hoping maybe sometime in August is really the goal. Plus, we really want to get the plant online the way IDEM or the permit states. So, Ashbury and I just had a meeting on that, and we are looking to do that by about a month, hopefully by next board meeting. Well, that stuff switched over as long as we get the parts needed and everybody can coordinate, be on the same schedule, get it done.
Yeah.
So, I think they're moving forward there. It's gonna be busier, especially with all the new upgrades coming, so it's gonna be busy. You saw they got the walls cleaned, they got a little bit more of the trash. Yeah, it looks good.
Let me ask you, when we did the grades from where the lift station drops in, it's almost like I don't know, it looked like it was a long time ago, but it's almost like we built an extension on the original plan and put the grades in. You know what I'm talking about? It kind of sticks out. And then I think the stairs catwalk kind of right in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, it looks like it's sitting like this, and there's a crack inside
About the wall or the catwalk?
on the wall.
Yeah, where like the flow comes in.
Yes.
Yeah. And somebody has put like a big plate there.
It looked like it was.
And I bolted it in to help anchor that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, you want me to look into if there's a repair, a reasonable repair?
Yeah, probably would be good. It doesn't look great, right? And I don't know, like you were
I
suggesting.
mean, I can see daylight is the other side. I didn't notice that when I was over there this month, so.
That's not something that I didn't brought up.
No, I think it's really noticeable now that the walls are.
Yeah.
Somebody go back over and throw some dirt on it.
Maybe that's why we left it dirty.
Right, yeah. You can see it, so if you put a level on that section, it sits down, it's like that. It's a plan, and there's a crack right there where it's,
So put wall repair on wood.
I don't know if that's original, or that was added on
Yeah.
to add the grades. I don't.
We need like foundation specialists to come in and
Okay.
make this back up.
You guys beat them in concrete, don't do that.
They will.
Better make them in.
Might as well.
They
The
is,
guy
but
that
they
gave,
are.
the guy that got us the Aeromod invoice was the Thieneman, so what's the difference, right?
Right.
Well, he's a Thieneman from like, I don't know where they're from, Kansas or,
Oh, okay, probably not really.
probably not, but.
Don't be so sure.
Right.
All
And
right.
what about the salt? Is the salt still there?
It's all still there, so I missed the dumpster day, so the only thing, either we're just gonna, well, we're probably gonna take it to the landfill and just pay that price to haul out, because it, to basically dispose of it anyway, I'd be putting like a couple bags a week in the cans and then haul it out, so we're gonna try to get it scheduled. To just have, the guys go over there, take it to the landfill, and get rid of it.
Okay.
So,
And this should make the inspector slightly.
I think you'd be happy with the progress and everything that's going on in the background to help the plant move forward and be better. That's all I had for sewer.
Okay, so Scott Hagan has been here for 6 months. I think we're 50 cents an hour raise. Stephen had really good things to say about him. I've talked to him a couple of times, just, one day I ran into them out here, and then he called me asking a question one day too. So, I mean,
He's done well to learn our system. He's done well to apply the experience he has. He's taken over, on calls without being asked. He does a week of on calls. And like, so I'll do a week.
you guys pretty much hate that, don't you?
Yeah, I know, right? It's been really nice. So he's stepped up and he's still learning. I mean, he's been trying to help train Trent, the guy that's been there for about a month, been helping me try to train him and bring him up to speed. So he does step up and he does a good job. I think it would be deserved for him to get a little better raise.
So, make the motion to, approve increasing Scott Hagan's pay by 50 cents an hour.
Second.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Effective,
Yes,
When?
now,
you go back to where this paycheck started, or
no, for, yes, so. Days, they start on,
when
And we're a week into.
okay, well then, in that case,
Any of that.
yeah, that's. Okay, talk about DLC. Alright,
That's all I had.
what else you got? We don't want to slight you for any, any,
No, I mean, I just had under old business, I put on their purchasing equipment, I didn't know if anybody else had any questions on that, or if there's any conversation yet on that, or, if there will be, I know in the last month, just trying to rent equipment's hard, just juggling when it's available, you gotta call ahead and make sure that they have the right piece of equipment, just small things, but those are some of the things I've noticed right off the bat.
I mean, and here's my thought on it is we wait 2 more months. So we kind of have a 3-month sample of how much you're renting equipment, right? And then, and that can kind of give us a good sample of, okay, does it make sense to make an investment in, a backhoe and.
Still need a building for it.
Right, still need a building.
Well, if you unload it, right? That's what we said.
That's silly though.
I mean, it does, but,
Then we gotta build the door, they have to do the door too.
well, we already proved that.
It's done.
Is it done? I
Yeah.
didn't take a look, I didn't even notice.
It's done.
So,
Calm down, man.
so, I mean, so
What's that?
Here, sir.
I didn't see.
Since you don't have enough stuff to track already, can you get us those numbers like he said, over the 3-month period, last month,
well, I
this
think,
month and next?
yeah, well, I mean, I think that, yeah, I mean, I just like to see
Maybe in
3,
July.
4 months. Yeah, I mean,
Track every time we rent, and then what jobs we use it for, and how that breaks down, and I'll just keep a track on all that.
how much we pay.
Forward, July, August.
Yeah, and then I would say the August meeting, we have it. And, and how many times that we had to contract out with someone where we could have done it ourselves if we had all of the right, the equipment. And I think being able to look at it to say, does financially, does it make sense?
And realistically, we don't really need to know the job breakdown, just the total dollar amount, the bottom line. How much did you spend renting on your own? How much did you spend with other contractors? You know,
And while it's not ideal, I mean, for a short term, right, to short term, to have to unload it and we put it in here and then let's let the dust settle a little bit and then we could look at building another facility. I mean, I think that's something we'd have to think on just a bit. It's a lot big time change to have to pay.
It is. But we've been investing.
Well, and I think that, and I don't know where the money would come from the town, but I mean, if we're gonna use a portion of one building to pay, to store salt, is there any value in town paying a portion of? So. Like we have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in there.
So I get better too.
All right. Alright.
all I got.
Okay. Anybody have any?
Sorry.
Crystal, what do you got?
Got a new part-time girl in August. Been here 3 weeks.
Doing
Taking
better?
on really quickly. Yeah, so I think hopefully she likes it, and sticks it out.
What's her name?
Kaylee.
You.
Kaylee Hurst.
Wait a minute, didn't she get married?
Yeah, she hasn't changed my name yet. Yeah, she's very.
Whew. She was my kid's nanny for a while. She was a cheerleader too, with Adrian. I think she was an older girl, but Adrian was her team yet. She was a cheerleader.
Gotcha. Well, good. I'm glad you got somebody.
If she worked for others, she worked.
Adrian wasn't only, and I'm not sure she did get it. She put it with Adrian.
Anything that you need?
Sure.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Take one more motion for the night.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
I'll take 67 minutes.
Try to get it out of here as soon as possible.
Can't get out.
I honestly just wanted to,